Are you frustrated by the pace of living in the 21st century? Do you wish we could all go back to a simpler time without so much technology, social media, and pressures of our society? Join us for the Brigadoon Experience, where we learn some of the simpler crafts of yesterday while utilizing 21st century tools. We will explore the very most basic skills, crafts, organic gardening, music, and everyday household tips that maybe even our ancestors used. We are Stephanie and Steve Everett, and we want to invite you to share in our creative journey through the Brigadoon Experience. Hi, Stephanie Everett here with the Brigadoon Experience, and today we're going to be working on potting our outdoor beautiful plants and especially flowers, and saving a few dollars by doing it ourselves. A lot of times you can find beautiful things at the garden center, but you can also be creative and save a few dollars if you do it yourself. So join me for the Brigadoon Experience. Now, as I get ready to fill up my pots with beautiful flowers, I always like to assess the pots that I've used in the past and make sure that they're going to make it through the summer okay. I just make sure that I have all the old roots, any weeds that have been kind of growing over the fall and the winter, and I try to really clean them up and start to sort of go through and get them some new potting soil. Now, my centerpiece planter is very beautiful. It's in the very center of a front area in our house. And when I went to pull out the plastic container from last year, it sort of fell to pieces. It did not make it well through the winter. And I've used that pot many years. It's just a plastic pot. So I'm going to reuse something else I had. And one thing I like to do when I'm starting from scratch is to fill my pot with some river rock in the very bottom, and really just to facilitate drainage. So if you can see right there, I have a couple river rocks, and I put a bigger rock in there just to give it some weight, just to help with drainage. And the very next thing I'm going to do is fill this pot up with good potting soil. Now, when it comes to selecting potting soil, I'm not going to endorse one potting soil over another. I'll tell you what my criteria is. I have some wonderful garden centers that I go to regularly, and I take the advice there. I try to buy the potting soil that I know they use, and especially since their flowers are very, very beautiful and seem to be doing well. And I also, this season, I'm going to try a little fertilizer with all of my pots. That's one thing I noticed today as we went to the garden center. They had a water-soluble fertilizer, and I'm going to try that every little bit to keep my flowers looking beautiful. So a little fertilizer and really good potting soil is the key to success. And now you can see I have all my pots ready to be filled with beautiful flowers. Some years I have colors in mind for my floral spread out front, and this year I'm sort of inspired by what I found at the garden center. And I always love to start out with the beautiful dahlias. You can see them right here. I especially love this shade of a peachy pink, and it's really always my jump off. My garden center always has this color. And as you look, some of the other colors that I'm going to include, I have a gorgeous golden yellow lantana. It's back there. That one I think was called Orange Bandana Lantana. I kind of like that name as I was looking at it. We're going to have a little purple in there, little purples as an accent. Of course, some traditional marigolds, as well as I have some beautiful variegated marigolds down here on the end. But I think the crowning jewel of what I found today was definitely the petunias. And this beautiful, absolutely gorgeous petunia is called Moonstruck. At this garden center, they called it a crazy tunia. And I think it sort of looks like an antique postcard. And so that's kind of where I'm jumping off with my color scheme. Antique postcard is the theme this year for the baskets. As I get started with my centerpiece pot, I'm going to think about the placement of the plants. Now I'm going to start off with the largest plant that I'm going to be using in this pot. This is Colia, and this is Color Blaze Velveteen. Now the one thing I want to make sure is that it's not root bound, so once I pull it out of the plastic container, I'm just going to give it a little pull here at the bottom so that it's not tangled up. And I'm going to kind of put that towards the back of the pot. This is going to be kind of the anchor, and especially the anchor color. We just recently painted the front door burgundy, and so I kind of wanted to go with that burgundy color. I think it's going to really look good with the front door. And then next, we're going to go with, I love these little spiky Australias. This one is called Red Star. I used to use green almost exclusively, and now I really like this burgundy color. I think, again, it's going to look great against the house. So let me get that going, and then we'll see what other pretty colors we can add to this pot. I'm really happy with the way this pot is starting to turn out. I added in two of my favorite things that I picked out. I told you about that beautiful dahlia and that peachy pink tone. And then here's the golden bandana lantana, which is just really popping against the dark background. Okay, well here is our finished pot. And I'm really excited. Of course, I'm going to do all my other pots in similar fashion. We started off with that Velveteen Colias, followed by the beautiful Australias here. And I love that red color, gorgeous. And our little diamond here being displayed is the beautiful pinkish dahlia, Loves Full Sun. Will do really, really well in my front yard. Then the golden bandana lantana, I could say that all day long. We also I've added a little basket filler, the alyssum. This one is Easter Bonnet Lemonade. Then the ageratum, that beautiful purple, just a little bounce of color over there in the back. And of course, Antique Postcard is the theme, and that Moonstruck Crazy Tunia takes the stage over on this side. But so we'll put it into the planter and see what it looks like. Now here is our beautiful plastic pot already in a gorgeous antique planter right in the front of our house, and I really think the colors are working so well, and the planter is the color also of my front door, so I think it's going to look really great with everything all together, and I can't wait to share with you a picture of all my pots finished.